Hey folks, welcome to episode 2 of my IGTV series on understanding your metabolism and fat loss. Now in episode 1 we discussed the basic building up and breaking down that takes place all day, every day long that makes up your metabolism. So today we're going to be discussing is your metabolic rate, which is really just a fancy way of saying the amount of calories that you burn on a daily basis through those building up and breaking down processes. Now there's 4 different components that we're going to be talking about a little bit, but we're also going to be doing a video on each one separately because they all serve a different function. They're all able to be manipulated a little bit differently. So the 4 components that make up your overall calorie burn on a day-to-day basis is going to be number 1, your resting metabolic rate. This is just basic physiological functions that take place inside your body. So like blood pumping, your eyelids fluttering, or organ function. Now, if you decided to run a marathon or you decided to sit on the couch all day, your resting metabolic rate would be the exact same. There's only a few things that can change it, so it's not of a huge cause for concern when it comes to understanding this all. Above that would be your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And that's really just a fancy word for saying your day-to-day activity. So that would include like walking the dog, doing the dishes, going to the grocery store, and the amount of calories that you burn doing that. Now, on top of that, we have your thermic effective activity. And that is your trips to the gym to lift weights, to do cardio, to go for a run, to go to kickboxing class or skateboarding, and really just the amount of calories that you burn through the more formalized activity that you do on a day-to-day basis. Next up, we have the thermic effect of food. And interestingly enough, when you digest and break down food, it requires calories and energy to make that happen. So this is the amount of calories that your body has to actually dedicate to digesting and breaking down that food. Now, when you put those together, that's the total amount of calories that you burn all throughout the day. But it doesn't always stay the exact same. That means the amount of calories you burn from one day to another can change depending on your activity levels, depending on the types of foods that you're eating and the amount of food that you're eating and everything along those lines. So in the next couple videos, we're gonna be looking at each one of those components on their own because how they respond to dieting and fat loss can be totally different from one another. So we're gonna give them each their own video to be able to really fully explain them. So that's your overall calorie burn. That's what makes up the amount of calories that you burn on a day-to-day basis.